Oh, Huck Finn, you savage! Hi there, I didn't see you come in. I was just reading up on some of Mark Twain's finest, specifically the story of Huck Finn. When you think about Huck Finn, you think of large, paddle-driven steamships. I wonder if we could build one in Minecraft. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get building right away. So we need to lay out our keel. And the keel is the bottom of the boat. It's like that spine that everything builds up from. And this kind of like sets the page for, you know, how big this vessel is going to be. And these steamboats were relatively large. So we're gonna need quite the keel. Alright. I'm just doing this with some dark gray clay. Alright. You might be noticing that I'm not using shaders for this. Anytime I'm building underwater or around the water, it's just easier to see everything. Make a good keel, okay. Just block it out. Now everything's staggered. You know, you're going to start with 2 in the front, 2 to the back, and just keep staggering it back. All the while, the further out you go in terms of how wide you go, you're going to extend it. So as you can see, I started with 2, 2, 3, and then I'll do 3 again. Or no, we'll do 4. The key is to make it a gradual increase. Okay. Alright. That's pretty good. So now we'll go the entire... Well, we might go one more. Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah, we'll go out wider. Keep it somewhat straight until we get closer to the stern, and then you're going to want to taper it in again. Again, following that same pattern as we did in the front, but this one can be a little bit more gradual with a blunt end. Just like that. Sweet. Now we're just going to repeat the same process on the other side. So we've gone ahead and we've plugged away at that a little bit. Now there's a lot of repetitive scenes and things that we're going to do in this video, so I'll try to cut that down as much as I can, just to make it a little bit more enjoyable to watch. And then we're going to taper it back inward as well on the bottom. And this is kind of a format that you can use with any ship design. So you can do this with any boat out there. This works well. You want to make it look like it's really going to cut through the water. Cool. Nice. We'll continue that center spine down the middle. Now these river boats had really shallow, you know, hulls. They weren't very deep. So unlike some of my other steamships where the hull really dips down quite a bit, this is going to be relatively flat bottomed, I guess you could say. So we'll fill that in real quick. And that's going to complete the lowermost portion of our hull. You know, you kind of get a little bit of an outline, an essence of a ship right there. I'm just going to build it up, and we're going to bring it up to the top of the water line. For those of you familiar with the Instagram site, you can see the twin-sided paddle wheeler in the background. There it is. Looking all nice and fresh. Decorative. Alright. Cool. Alright, so we're pretty much getting close to being done with this first hull. Alright, that looks pretty good. Looks like a big old bathtub. Alright. Not bad. You just want to make sure that all of your sides are kind of, you know, looking the same. Because it's below the waterline, you have a little bit of leeway. Alright, so now we're going to add the white upper level of the boat, and we'll also outline what the general shape of the boat's going to be above the waterline. Now these boats had really blunt fronts, so like unlike boats like the Titanic where, you know, the front of the ship was very knife-like, these were kind of blunt. Really not squared off completely, but a little bit more flat-fronted looking. See, already that needs a little bit of rework. We didn't taper it properly. We need to make it even more... Yeah, it's kind of looking better. Alright. And then we'll kind of have a little bit of an overhang over that lower hull portion. We'll do that for the entire top part of the boat. Alright. We're pretty much going to copy the same thing on the back, but you want the rear of that white part to kind of level out at the same point as, you know, the rear of the hull itself, the black part of the hull. Now we're going to add in some slabs. You'll see, this will give it a really cool effect. Boats are really time consuming. It's a lot of repetition, but if you're patient, you'll come up with something cool. See, just like that. Alright, now let's add in our deck. We're just gonna use some wood. Speed things up a little bit because it's just gonna be completely flat. Add a couple little boats here and there, just for fun. Yeah, the map I'm building on currently, I'm building this ship for the main map that I've been working on for a little while now. It's called Book 1: The Itinerant. Essentially, the entire map is a big story, and it's taking place in the Wild West in 1899. Alright, cool. So we've got that completed. Now we need to start looking into adding our structures. And if you look at pictures, the first story, or the first level of the boat usually consists of two general areas. So you've got like a front little storage area, and then in the back you've got kind of the steam plants that feed, you know, the energy to the large paddle wheel in the rear. Now what I want to do here is I also want there to be a grand staircase going up the center of the front. So I need to make sure that I space everything out accordingly. I think we'll do that. we're gonna bring the rear of the building all the way to the back of the boat. Add in our entryway, because this is where I want that grand staircase to be that goes straight up to the next level deck, more of like the passenger deck of the entire craft. And now I'm separating things, and there's going to be like a little area in between. I want this to be a little bit bigger. Add in where our portholes are going to be. Now, back in the day, there wasn't a whole lot of air conditioning going on, so a lot of these boats had crazy amounts of portholes in order to keep things well ventilated while churning up the mighty Mississippi. Now I'll add a little bit of detail here. I'm gonna put arches in between these two superstructures. It's gonna make them look interesting. I love playing around with the smooth quartz steps. There we go. Oh, boogers. That's classic Tammy. Let's see. Alright. Oh, it's pretty cool. And then we're going to repeat the same process on the other side as well. You want it to be a gradual increase. There we go. Nice. There to be a little bit of color. Now, just like that first level of the boat, we're gonna have a really, you know, rounded out yet, you know, yeah, just like that. Perfect. Cool. Have it jut out a little bit more. There we go. Again, making sure that we're tapering everything and getting really nice, really good curves. And this is going to be the width of the entire craft. So that white level that's directly below needs to line up to this upper deck. Okay. And it's gonna look a little interesting. Huh. Well, no worries. We'll make it work. There we go. And again, because this is going to be a stern wheeler, we know that the big paddle wheel is going to be on the back of the boat, so we don't want things to jet out too far. Alright, cool. So now we'll go ahead and add that upper deck. fortified oak. I'm just gonna do this for the entire second story of the boat. Cool. Nice. We've got our compartments and everything. I want to add color to the front bow. So I'm just getting rid of some of this white. We'll go in and we'll add white after as well, just to keep the overall look of the boat looking pretty uniform. Break it up a little bit. Don't want to overdo it. Now I'm gonna add some half slabs on top of there. That should make it look pretty good. Cool. Yeah, just like that. All right. Add a big old door here because we need some sort of entryway to get into the cargo bay. I'll add a little bit of detail. We're ultimately going to need something to support this upper level. So I'll show you how I go about doing that. Because you could do it with fence posts, but the problem is that the fence posts look kind of silly. Okay. Okay. Alright, everything's leveled up. Need some sort of separation here. Want this storage area to be pretty high capacity. I'm also going to put a logo on here as well. We need to come up with a little logo for the ship line. Repeat that same process over here. Neat. Very good. Just gotta connect our dots here. Don't know why I did all of that. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Gotta make sure these doors line up. That little spot right there. Alright, I like it so far. It's making sense. Alright, now I'm gonna use diorite. Oh boy, it's gotta be a first. But essentially what I'm going to do is, because it's the only thing that's got kind of a white look to it, or a white hue, I'm gonna use that for the support beams holding up the second floor, I guess you could say. That's a little detail. I really can't wait until they come out with marble fencing. Alright, that looks pretty good. It's kind of like an arched window effect. So we'll do that for the entire first story. Alright, now let's go ahead and add in a sweet little logo here. Not really sure what I'm gonna make it look like. Usually just try to make it look like a sunrise or something like that, something silly. Doesn't have to be too fancy, but you know, get creative with it. Alright. Now we're adding in our grand first story staircase, and that'll lead you up to the main deck. So like where all the passengers would sit and everything like that. Maybe steamboat gambling trip. Fill it in. Cool. So now we have our staircase leading us down. Okay. A little protective railing system. And unlike the first story where everything was split in half, this is going to be one main structure. These are essentially large floating hotels. Alright. Now again, we're going to use our diorite. We're going to go around the entire perimeter of the boat with this. And the way I'm staggering it is just every other block. You want the consistency, and you want the piers to line up with piers that might be below deck as well. So everything has more of a uniform look. Okay. Use our half slab to complete these. Cool. Just gonna add in one more layer of this cake. Nice big black, dark gray. Very good. Alright. Looks pretty good. There we go. All right. Cool. So we've got our second deck pretty much finished up. We've got, you know, a roof over it as well. We'll finish up in doing all the interior and stuff in the second video, and we'll also add on a whole bunch of detail to the top as well. You know, this boat is legitimately just like a massive cake. So the way of thinking about it is working in layers. And when all those layers come together, it looks pretty neat. Now, these steamships also had really cool, you know, twin funnels right off the bow. So join us in the next video. Keep an eye out. Part 2 is going to be coming down the pipe pretty soon. and we'll go over the rest of the build and everything like that. If you haven't checked us out on Instagram, please check us out on Instagram. It's pretty cool. We've got all sorts of stuff over there. That's hashtag Empire Build Blocks. There's no spaces in the build blocks part either, so it's just all one word. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.